Everyone. We are Opportunities platform, and as you have seen, we have done a lot of interviews in our past as well. And today, I'm very much excited to have with me my friend from Romania. Although she's not just a friend, but here she has been come to share about her journey. How did she end up from Romania to Baret Scholars, where she has explored more than 20 plus countries in next last 7 months. And this interview is meant for all those ambitious high school students or gap year students who aspire to travel the world or who are stuck somewhere in their life, don't know what to do in their life. So this is the opportunity for you to apply, explore, or think about what you want to do in your life, what is your purpose. And we will be diving into all over the information about what is Baret Scholars, how was her leadership journey, personal journey, what did she has achieved. And I guess you are not just listening this podcast, you will learn so much about her experience because trust me, she is the person who can give you all the time inspiration, motivation, and if I learn so much from her, you guys can also learn after this 1 hour of 40 minutes of discussion. So please do give a like, comment, and share, and don't forget to subscribe our channel to motivate other students to check out. So, without any further ado, thank you so much, Iris, for giving us the opportunity to have an interview with you. Would you like to introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you very much for having me. It, this is a very nice invitation for a very old friend of mine, Ankit. We got to know each other through Opportunities platform, and he gave me the opportunity of my life. And how did that happen? So I joined my university 2 years ago, and I was studying computer science and engineering. And as every engineering student knows, engineering is hard. You need to be there for every assignment, every lab. You need to do your projects. You need to be everywhere. So I messaged my friend, hey, I'm pretty stressed. I don't know what to do with my engineering degree. I don't know if I should still pursue computer science because I'm more interested into helping people and I don't really know how to help people with computer science. And he messaged me, hey, maybe you should take a gap year, maybe you should take a break. And I told him, I'm Romanian. We don't do that here because Romania is a pretty, let's say, conservative country. Like people are pretty religious, they like to keep traditions, and I kind of come from the same background. So I was born in Tulcea, which is a small fisher town. My dad is usually fishing all the time. My mom is has become more religious lately. And I never imagined, like, I never expanded my mind more than my boundaries, let's call it like that. But I started doing that because of education. So in seventh grade, I met my chemistry teacher, and he told me, "You're very, very smart. You're a genius. You are going to get into MIT." And I didn't believe him at the first time, but he prepared me for the chemistry Olympiad so well that I got to get out of my town for the first time. So I went to the National Olympiad in seventh grade, in eighth grade. I was supposed to go in ninth grade as well. However, COVID came. So from just starting to get out and see more and learn more English and get to connect with more people, I got closed, not in my city, but in my home. So while being close in my home, I started reflecting more on myself and I started spending a lot of time on the internet, like everyone was doing during the pandemic, probably. So, because I was always connected with the internet, I got to learn English better and I got to connect with a lot of people through a lot of opportunities. Atlas Fellowship, I think that was the first time when me and Ankit met. Uh, mm, all of these hackathons, online programming contests, and everything. So I realized for me, it was not necessarily about chemistry, but it was about the fact that science helped me connect through people, and science gave me a lot of confidence. So I got to reflect more about that during my gap year. And during my gap year, I also got to become the founder with three of my university friends, the founder of Alacrity Education. So, Alacrity Education is an organization that wants to help people from underdeveloped areas to be more connected with science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. We basically want to bring the Renaissance to the small cities. Because when you give free access to people, free access to education, you just provide more opportunities to everyone. So yeah, that would be my little introduction. Sorry for oversharing, maybe.
No, actually, it's really good. The information that you have shared with us, it was quite amazing and inspiration, because your story is not just about a testament like we are stressful, we don't have opportunities. You created your own opportunity. No matter whether you have a chance to go to other country nearby in Europe, you did everything by your own and you make it happen. And that's why people are going to remember you for your all the hard work and the things. So now I would like to understand what is actually Baret Scholars program and how is different for the other gap year program that you have heard or you have been chance of being study abroad experiences. Could you reflect on that to our audience?
So, from what I've heard of other gap year program, most of them, if they have some traveling part involved, they usually get you to one city or one region. You don't get to experience all of this cultural richness like you get in Beret. So, Beret Scholars is a gap year program where you get to travel for 1 full month in a region. So, we were for 1 month and almost a half in the US, then for 1 month in Brazil, in Europe, in Middle East, in Africa, India, and then Asia. And you, because everything is so fast paced, like mm, in 1 month, you don't get to know the whole region, but you get to know more than enough to make a general impression on how people live there. And if you speak with locals a lot, if you speak with people from around you, if you speak with top achievers and also just normal people on the streets, you get to make an image on how people live there, what is different from your country, what you can get home to implement in your own country or in your own home or little community. You get a lot of inspiration from the community because you're traveling with 100 plus students in all of these different regions, and you get to see how you see the same region differently, which I think is the most unique thing about the experience.
By the way, I was just thinking, don't you feel an overwhelming when you started traveling with 100 people? How do you cope up with that? How to connect with those so many people? So, how did you deal with or such challenges in your life? I guess you have been traveled to other countries as well, but again, it's about culture as well, diversity, how to adjust with some different kind of people. Maybe they are eating something else which I don't eat, or like how was your overall experience? Would you like to share with your our audience? Maybe that could help for them to prepare themselves for the life in general in the USA or anywhere in their life they have to go. And what did it teach you to living together with new people from different parts of the world?
So I would say one of the most important things is the subjective truth. Let's call it like that. So I was, as a person interested in science, I am mostly interested into learning about the truth or debating. Most of my conversations were more or less debating for the greater truth or like finding the truth together. However, I think people usually don't really do that, or people usually don't like that. So, um, we everyone has something called subjective truth. So, for example, let's say you're talking with someone that has a very, very radically different opinion than you do. you are not going to change this person opinion with one conversation, with one debate. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. It doesn't matter the outcome or who's right or who's wrong, but you should start by listening to this person and see what they want to share, what, and also get into consideration what experiences shaped the view of this person. And I think this is the most important thing when it comes to connecting with other people, because it's not about who's right or wrong, it's more about who's right in their own way, and
That's
trying
a
to
very beautiful
understand that
line.
on a
Right
deeper
in your
level.
own way. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's a very beautiful line, right? In their own way. Like some people have different thoughts, ideas, which you won't be agree on that. You may have contradict with that, but you have to understand how to be grounded, how to be respectful for certain topics or discussions that you are not interested. But this overall context will teach you how to be a good person. That could be get respect. Because one thing that I have learned in my life, you don't have to ask for respect, earn your respect. So.
Yeah. And another tip for making friends would be, um try to avoid the fear of missing out. Like,
Yeah.
there are more than 100 people. You're not going to get connected deeply on a very deep level with everyone. So that's okay. You're gonna have very good friends. You're gonna have probably enemies. I don't want to call them enemies because, like, you're traveling for 1 year. After this 1 year, they're going to like disappear from your life. And it's the same with university or the same with high school. I I didn't really like my high school because, coming from a very small community with like same, let's say, mental boundaries, while I was trying to pursue my own opportunities, my own way, and trying to do things differently than what we were used to, I didn't get along with so many high school classmates. Or so, yeah, high school was not the best period for me, but it passed. And after it passed, life became better. However, while I was living it, it just felt like it will go over and over and over. And I will be in high school, then I'll go to university, and university is going to be very bad. Then I'll do this, and it's going to be very bad. And it's very easily to just fall into this mental trap. And especially with social media, when you're just in a bad situation and you're entering on your Instagram, Facebook, threads, whatever, and you're seeing, yeah, this person is having this amazing life, this person is traveling around the world, or all of this, it's very easily to fall into this trap of, oh, my life is bad. Like, even while traveling around the world, I had periods when I was thinking, oh, my life is bad, or I'm gonna go back home and my life is going to be bad. But it was not. I was just not present in the moment. And I was just not enjoying even the bad parts in the whole process.
Yeah, actually, I agree on that because it's very important to fall in the trap. Because one thing I have seen, people started comparing their lives. Like I remember when I was in my age of 18 to 19, I was also thinking, oh, why God has made me born in poor family, why I am living in village only. I have seen people who are living in bigger cities in India. They are going to US, Canada, achieving all their dreams. My friends are even posting on WhatsApp, oh, they are in San Francisco, going to Harry Potter, going to New York, famous Brooklyn Bridge, and they are taking pictures. And I was actually thinking the same, why my life is not like them. Then I realized one important thing, you're not the same. You cannot complain about what you have in your life by the God, because every situation gives you an opportunity. Left, suppose if you don't, and I always say, if I don't born in poor family, I don't was in village, I could never make an opportunities platform. Why do I think about people if I have all the resources, privilege? Because for me, I will have the same mindset. Oh, I have to take care of myself, I have to go to top colleges. But this idea to help the people, being kind and humble to people, because this teach me not about just to support the community, but it's give me a idea of selflessness, because you have to give something to the community. And this is one of the most important thing. The entrepreneurs and all the people, at any point of your life, you become billionaire or anything you achieve, but there's a point that you have to give. For example, like you have seen Bill Gates, he always come to India to donate in some charity funds or other places in India, because he just think that he has too much of money. But now this is the time where he can support even Ronaldo as well, the famous football, and everybody in all over the world who are capable enough. It's their time to give up. And one thing I say in my life, I don't know what, I am very talented. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a famous YouTuber. Why should people remember me? So I need to find a way what people gonna remember me, and that's how I came to know what I am very good at: connecting with people, finding opportunities, helping people. And because I'm good at connecting with emotions, feelings, what someone is feeling, because I notice people, they don't feel comfortable sharing with other people, but they are comfortable to explaining me the situation in chats, calls and all. So I realized what is the best way I can support, and that's how I came to know like this is the most critical issue that people are, because cities people are growing so much fast, but people who are in village, who are in rural areas, they are not able to scale up. So what could be the best way to help them to get also in the same level that they wanted to? And that's how this idea of opportunities platform came. And we are very happy to share that so many 21,000 plus students all over last 2.8 months, like 2 years, 8 months, have supported them. And now they're in the top colleges, MIT, Stanford. They are studying in UWC as well. They have got so many great opportunities, because it takes a lot of hard work from our team to put up those opportunities, especially the free ones, because most of the people in our community are underprivileged family. They cannot even afford $10 for the application. So
Yeah.
what is the so, okay, what do you think that thoughtfully you together to provide you with the Barrett experience? Like, what is the best time do you think was in Barrett Scholars? Maybe when you are in a specific country or a fellowship, or how did it going to change your life as a mindset? Your thinking about a life as a different perspective. Like you have lived most of your life in Europe, but now you have traveled to 20 plus countries. So what is something that you see in a change in your life now after traveling to that? Would you like to share with our audience?
Mm, so just to make sure, you want me to share how Bray changes your
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah. And what
So
is something that you have learned that you never able to learn living in Romania or in same loop in that small community? So how did it shape your mindset?
I would say learning to unlearn the things you've been knowing for so long. So everyone, when they get born in a certain family or in a certain medium, they have some, let's call them biases. Like I don't know, if you lived for a very long time in a community, you never met someone of a different color, or you never met someone, I don't know, someone just fundamentally different than you. Maybe if you lived in a very artistic community, you never met someone interested into science. You never met people that are very fundamentally different than you. So you get to learn certain behaviors uh, from when you're like a child until you're 18, and you go with this type of behaviors in the world. However, if you get to experience the whole world and you get to see the whole mm, plethora, like the all of the diversity of behaviors, religions, what people believe, how uh, they, they they interact with each other, you start to realize that your behaviors are not necessarily wrong or right. They're just yours. So you start to build your intuition better, and you start to trust yourself more. And I feel like you also get more connected with your past hobbies, because I feel like without the part of traveling and meeting all of these people and talking with all of these people, I could never appreciate myself at the face value. I could never, like, as you were saying earlier, I would always question, oh, why was I born in this city? Why was I born in this family? Or why are all my friends going into like these good Ivy League universities and they're just doing this and that? And I was doing this in my first year of college, and that was very, very harmful, because while traveling around the world, I realized, hey, in my first year of college, I had a couple of friends that were very, very good friends of mine. I won a couple of hackathons that were very fun. Like, they were some of the hackathon experiences were more fun than some experiences in Baret. However, people, when I would consider my life from a people's perspective, like, oh, I'm having fun at the hackathon, but I'm not posting it on social media. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. So and all of the people are like, oh, yeah, you're studying at just the university in Romania. So it's like, yeah, small university, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like that. My university is some of the best universities in like, I think it's one of the best universities in my country. I am interested in what I'm doing, but I need to put more work and effort into doing that thing better. But I cannot put more work and effort because hitting a I'm hitting a wall. I'm like, oh my God, look at all of these friends with their perfect lives. So, what I could not understand at home was that my life was perfect before.
I wanted to understand one thing from you, like you're so much motivated, and this is very important for people who are going to listen, how to deal with the situation of imposter syndrome, missing out, how to keep motivated, because it's also very much easy to get affected by social media. Like you see so many amazing, cool things people are doing, traveling to XYZ, they are making blogs, YouTube channel. So if you are a high school student, you have to go back. What is the big lesson that you will teach to you, how to be stay grounded, motivated, don't think about what others are talking about you, but you have to you have to keep working on your goals. So what is the advice for these students? I think this is very, very important for them to learn from you.
So, I'm going to share one experience from Beret to connect it with the motivation part. One of the fellowships, which was basically an educational experience where you go for 10 days and you experience a topic of choice, one of my fellowships in Brazil was going to the Amazon rainforest and living on a boat in a hammock with no internet connection, no signal, no nothing. At home, I would never disconnect from the internet. Why? Because disconnected from the internet, meaning I could not talk with you, I could not talk with my friends, I would get disconnected from my university courses, from all of the programs I was in. So, before going to the Amazon, I almost had a panic attack. Like, I had a physical reaction to the idea that I'm not going to be connected with my parents, with my boyfriend, with all of my friends, with everyone. So I went in the Amazon rainforest. I was there. I also had like a little tablet with all of my books and everything. So while being there, and we were just in hammocks, chilling, everyone was just getting bored. While I was there in my hammock, I literally got my tablet out and started doing electrical engineering problems. And 1 year before, while I was in university, I was just sick of electrical engineering. I didn't like electrical engineering. It was the subject I hated the most. So I got to learn that, even though it's going to sound like a kind of parent advice, like, I don't know, oh, it's the phone who's doing the thing, but it's literally the phone who's ruining your life. Because the people that put in place the algorithms, the recommendation algorithms for your TikToks, for your ads, for everything, they're smarter than you. And why are they smarter than you? They have all of your data, they have all of your behaviors, and they're using top psychologists to analyze your behaviors. You don't have a top psychologist at hand to stop using that. You need to hire one, or you need to go to therapy, or you need to do this and that. So I would advise everyone to be very intentional with what they're doing, especially when it comes to technology use. You want to use your computer. Maybe try to learn a thing or two about how to use Linux, which is like an open source system, and try to install it on your own and try to see how you interact with the simpler system. You want to do something on your phone. Again, make it intentional. I am going to go on Instagram. Click on Instagram. How much are you going to stay there? 30 minutes. Put a timer on. When the alarm is going to sound, stop.
So thank you so much, Irish, for answering those questions. So tell me more about your things that make this program more unique, intensive, and valuable as comparison to other programs, and why should people apply to Baret Scholars as a gap year opportunity? From your side, what is something you will advise to the students who are listening to you, like younger students?
Um, an advice to apply to Beret or for maximizing their application. I didn't quite get the
Just
question.
how to make their life gap year experience more fruitful, valuable, like maybe taking
Mm.
part into Baret Scholars. How do they make their gap year more productive in a way that could help them to learn, build, or anything it could be?
So I feel like one of the best things you can do is start start every region with a plan, but don't be afraid to ditch the plan if you need to. So I feel like one of my friends made the most out of her experience just because she had a plan to like go to this place and that place and that place, and she had all of this different things in mind. Um, and also be very careful with your health. So I feel like I actually gained a lot of weight during Beret Scholars because I spend a lot of time working, and I was working from my computer, and then I would go to the like morning program and all of the meetings and everything. So I would spend most of my time sitting, eating fast food or whatever was very like fast at the time because I didn't have a kitchen in my room to cook for myself like I have at home. So I gained a lot of weight, and that then I started having like some health issues, and everything just went down. So take care of your health and come in Buri with a plan, and maybe try to save some money. Like I feel like that's a very important thing because um, it's not a very good experience to work, to have money, or like ask for your parents all the time, hey, can you please give me some money? Can you please send me some money? So if you can, before the gap year, maybe try to save some money. And uh, if you budgeted, like, hey, this is going to be the budget, expect at least double it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's very important because you never know what is something that you're gonna buy or you're gonna spend the money on. Maybe any emergency could be happen. You go have to go urgently to a doctor for a checkup or anything. So it's always to better have as a security money with you for any emergency that you could tackle. So tell me more about the places that you decide to go, like fellowship, because this is something that they give you an opportunity, and this is one of the most integral part of the program. So tell me more about your like roadmap. How did you started? Where you started from? What are the places that you have go? Tell me more about your global route and why did you choose that one only instead of others? And what is the best advice do you have for the people to decide their fellowship locations or the countries that they wanted to, based on the chances or the opportunities available by Baret Scholars for the students?
So we started in the US with New York, which was like the mother city, let's call it. And we started with orientation in New Hampshire and then New York as the main city. And then we had the fellowships. So for fellowships, we had a lot of towns as choices. Like we could have went to Mexico, we could have went to uh, Silicon Valley, New Orleans, LA, all of these big names for different industries and people that are interested in different stuff. However, my fellowship was in Washington, D.C., and that was my first option. What was my line of thought at that time? So maybe it will sound a little arrogant. However, that's how I thought at that time. So my top choices were Washington, D.C. and Silicon Valley because I'm very interested in tech and business and everything. So I was like, yeah, Silicon Valley sounds so nice. I'm going to put it on my CV. I'm going to put it on my LinkedIn. It's like the Ivy League name, you know?
Yeah,
However, I was talking with my mom and she said, you've done so much to overcome mm, your mm, let's say
comfort
drawbacks.
zone.
I
Okay.
your comfort zone. I trust you that you're going to Silicon Valley one day because I know you're talented. I know you're gonna work a lot. You can go there by working a lot. But I don't know if you're ever going to Washington, D.C. to visit the Capitol, to meet senators, to meet all of this like big people in politics in the US. And we've seen that especially uh with what's happening around the world right now. Like the US is kind of closing politically for foreigners. So she was right. So I decided at that time to apply for Washington, D.C. because you will see it's more likely to see a Romanian in Silicon Valley than to see a Romanian in the White House.
Oh, I did not know that. Politics
Yeah.
is everywhere that you see around the world. And I sometimes feel like that it's kind of a good for you to learn the basics of politics, not in a way you have to fight for a country or you have to, it's kind of a knowledge that you will learn how to do, be a good debater, learn more about international relations. What are the things that you can make to make your country more progressive, not in terms of education but in political way? For example, I sometimes feel why my power of passport is so many, like so less in comparison to bigger countries. I can travel only 35 countries. Some passports are so strong you don't even require a visa. You can travel to 135, 195 countries just visa free. Like that's how the politics is all about. So yeah. And what about the global route? Like since you said you started from USA, so how did you end up and reaching to your home? Maybe just walk me through your global route. And again, if you wanted to share why did you choose those route specifically?
Yeah. So that's what happened for the US. Then in Brazil, I chose the Amazon rainforest for my fellowship was my, I think, third option, and I chose it randomly, kind of. So they had a more tech related fellowship. However, that was canceled because not a lot of people applied for it. And they also had a fellowship in Rio. I also applied for that. However, there were some problems with visas for Europe, so a lot of people went to Rio to solve their visa issues. So they assigned me to my third option, which was the Amazon rainforest at the time, and I just chose it because mm, I was like, this will be a very big challenge for me. However,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to qualify in the first two options. really didn't expect to go in the Amazon rainforest at that time, but it was very nice. Sorry.
And
Then
then,
in Europe, kind of the same thing happened. My first two options were uh, in the Netherlands for some eco. There was an option called the Eco Trail, which was traveling around the Netherlands to see sustainable businesses and everything. Then there was another option to shadow a bioengineering researcher. Those two options were canceled because not a lot of people applied for it, so they kind of had to like cancel the fellowship. So I ended up at my third option, which was Italy, food. So I got like cooking in Italy. So I got to learn how to cook, learn how to do all of this like seasoning for the food, and I also got to
toppings.
participate in a cooking contest where I got to get some help from a chef from Brazil. So basically,
Oh,
in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, um, Baret Scholars paid for restaurant for us to have all of our meals, and I really, really got very connected with the chef there. So she was amazing. Like she changed my life and my perception, and she shared some of the coolest stories I've heard in my life. And
I
while being
guess
in
you are
Italy, I
still
got to
connected with her.
sorry.
I guess you are still connected with her now as well.
Yes, I'm still connected with her. If I ever go to Brazil, I'm going to her restaurant. Like it's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, maybe you could send us that option to us, to our audience as well. Maybe you could go and explore. Yeah.
Yeah. So I called her in Italy and I asked for her help. I was like, what should we cook? What should we do? We want to do something special. And it was very nice. Like I got to cook a proper meal, prepare a dessert with all of my friends and everything for the first time. And everything was so good. Like the food was very good and everything got eaten by the people around me. And that made me very, very proud. And that was also one of my frustration during the first year of college because I felt like I didn't know how to cook properly. Like my food was not tasty. I was like, I cannot eat fries, fried eggs, bacon, and all of this stuff over and over and over again without getting bored at some time. So that was a very nice experience.
So now you have those hidden talent of cooking. Maybe you could start a series of restaurants in Brazil, or maybe you can bring the taste of Brazilian food or Italian food in your city, Tulcea, or in Romania, and that could turn to be a good businesswoman.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah,
But I
that's
think,
actually interesting. What about in Africa, Middle East, or in Asia? I'm very
yeah, so
curious.
this was the first semester. Then in the
So
second
I have a
semester,
question. In
mm,
the fellowship, was Italy is the only option, or in Europe you have been to other places as well?
so in Italy for the food fellowship, we basically traveled from Venice to Rome. So we spent
Okay,
like 3 days, 4 days in Venice, and then the rest of the time in Rome. And yeah,
that's good. And then you have a break, right?
yeah, we had a break. I
Yeah.
arrived home. I met my friends, my family again.
And then you have to apply for visa. And tell me more about the visa process and everything. People are very much confused. How do they actually have to apply? And how did you end up getting visas on your passport? Was it challenging, stressful, the documentation process? Maybe share a little bit about your story. How did you cope up with that?
I don't like visas. I feel like every student after the break experience hates like the visa process or like trying to get the visa because there's a lot of documentation to be done. You need to complete a lot of online forms. Uh, you need to attend interviews, your visa can be refused, or things can go wrong. Now, for example, a thing that went wrong in my visa process was that uh, so in Romania, our passport number usually starts with a zero, like
Okay.
05, blah blah blah, something. Every time I would try to put my passport number in a form or in something, that zero would disappear. So
Oh.
it was so annoying.
Yeah, actually, that's quite
And
challenging.
yeah, and it happened with plane tickets that were given to us sometimes as well. So for example, if let's say it never happened, but if let's say we were late to the airport because I needed to like go to the information desk and change the ticket and talk with the person, be like, yeah, actually my passport number starts with a zero. Can you please put that number on the ticket and blah blah blah. If we were late to the airport, I would probably stay in that country, but that never happened. Like on logistics, that was good every time with Beret. So
So basically, you mean is that they help you everything with the proper documentation. You don't need to stress about it, right?
they help you with the proper documentation. They tell you how to do it. However, you need to stress about it. Like you need to read your emails, you need to read the documentation, you need to do
Yeah, I know.
everything properly from the first time. But they help you with it, and they
Yeah,
also
because
help you with you if you have problems. Like, uh, for example, I don't know why, but for India, I needed more information. Like apparently the Indian government
India as a
didn't like me.
country which is less famous, we need entirely all the world passport like visa. And not only that, the weirdest and worst thing about India, the time to get the visa is one of the most longest days for India. Like, can you believe 8 months to get the tourist visa for America? If you have to go
Oh,
to Germany, you have to start next last year only. So it's so much stressful. I don't know how people from India managed to get to USA. I think they might have done, or maybe Baret Scholars called to embassy, or I think they did something for them. And this is the problem. If you don't have any connections, it's going to be very very hard to you to get the visa, especially by yourself as a normal person. If you have a connection with agent or anyone who is in big power, they could help you to obtain the visa faster. So thank
yeah.
you actually for answering that. And in the Barre learning program, like you have morning program, afternoon program, and evening program, I guess. So what is the thing that you like about the curriculum that they have designed? And how did you think this could be helpful for the students to learn the skills that they don't able to learn in their classroom with their friends or family, the place they are in? And I mean with no grades, no textbook, no formal professors, no homework, no assignment to complete. How do actually students learn? Is it from experience or challenges? So what would you like to say to the students?
So I would say that the marketing of no textbook, no that, is more of a let's say marketing thing.
Okay, okay.
So
You
mm,
have to do work, right?
yes, yes, you
uh,
have to do work. Like it's not going it's not like Beret prohibits you to use books. They're not going to be like, yeah, you cannot use books in the morning program. Actually, you're encouraged to use books. In the first semester, we had the list with books recommended by our speakers or readings that we could do on the speakers or on the topic to be more um accommodated or like smarter on the topic, like get to know more about it. So, some people would read, some people would just take notes in their notebooks, some people would just create different stuff. I feel like this no textbook, no book, no notebook, no notes, no whatever is more of a saying. Like, we are not forcing you to do that. You get to learn in your own way, but you can definitely use them if you feel like learning in that way. However, yes, you need to put in the work. Like, I met,
Could you tell
sadly,
us more about the work exactly students have to complete so they can get an idea or prepare themselves?
so for example, for the morning program, we had three speakers, and
Okay.
probably that's going to be like the main morning program. You're going to have three speakers or an activity given by a student or by a speaker, depending on how the morning program is thought, or by a dean or by anyone in the program. So for the activity, you need to do reflection, or like you need to think about your journey. You need to reflect on your own thoughts, um, and you can reflect while writing an article, while writing on your notebook, while I don't know, building an art piece. It's different for everyone. And also for the speakers, you get 15 minutes to ask questions. We had a lot of speakers from different fields. We even had Nobel winners or people that started a lot of big businesses and everything. So if you want to keep in touch maybe with this Nobel winner, or if you want to become a Nobel winner in the future, you want to be prepared as a student to be the type of student that would ask a Nobel winner question to a Nobel winner.
So, in a nutshell, you mean you have to do a better research. Don't go with a blind mind or without any research and go directly sit there and ask
Yes,
any
exactly.
embarrassing question. You have to
Y-
better prepare yourself.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like it's also the community who's also creating the same, um, not necessarily pressure, because it's not really a pressure, I would say. Because I feel like in my gap year experience, I had my group, and my group would do that. Like, my group would go further and try to do a little research about the speakers and try to ask very good questions and do this and that. However, there were also groups that didn't care that much on the morning program or on the fact that they would meet all of these different people. They would care more about their afternoon option. They would care more about their artistic endeavors, and that's okay. And I feel like that's how the world works in general.
Yeah. So, how do the students feel about the morning session? Aren't they feel exhausted, come back to back listening to too many people? Aren't they feel bored listening to them? So, how did you keep more like energetic yourself? Like, do you have the chance to go get some rest or not? Like, maybe have some drinks or maybe breaks in interval? Or did you do that?
So we have some breaks in between the
Okay,
speakers, and we also have different snacks or drinks,
okay,
so
some refreshments. Yeah.
you can relax. And also, I was part of the morning program research team, so I would, as part of my internship, so I would always like try to talk with the students and keep engaged to be like, okay, how should we modify the morning program so that it's more engaging, more not is better for everyone. So beret is different than a school because if you don't like it, you can just go there and ask for something else. Like, at some point, people complain, hey, there are too many business people talking. We want more people to talk about spirituality and how to get connected with yourself and happiness and everything. So, for example, in India, we had a lot of speakers talking about that, talking about personal success, talking about meditation, talking about the spiritual part of life. And even though you don't like a speaker at one time, at one point, you're going to find your speaker sometime.
So they have everything available for you related to your interest, your field of
Mhm.
major that you wanted. Even when I was talking with some of the Baret scholars, they initially choose a major but end up changing their major after the entire program because they realize this is not meant for them. They wanted to do something that they have not even expected to have.
Mm,
So I think this is very important about how do the financial aid and application process. This is the most important topic for the discussion. What are the things that students need to keep in mind? Let's suppose I'm from poor family, I'm a well stable family in terms of finances. Will this program for me? How do the structure of the program for those students? I know that you are not from financial aid team, we don't know how the scholarships are given, but maybe just give an idea to the student. What are the things that they could do to increase their chances? And how do you see, will there be a full scholarship to the 2026 batch, or how the process will be for the students? So, and by the way, to the everyone who is listening to, she's the only person from Romania. So you guys can say congrats to her. Like, she's one of the most hardworking, talented student. She got the chance to represent our country. So she's amazing.
oh, thank you. You don't need to flatter me like that. So, regarding the financial process, you need to apply for a scholarship. I think the scholarship system is pretty different this year than it was last year. However, you probably need to do pretty similar things. Like you need to write a little essay, you need to provide your financial information, you need to give like all of your information, all of your life for Baret to know how they could help you and what they can do for you. However, I would say that a good thing to keep in mind is try to use your network in order to obtain the rest of the financial help you might search for. Because even even last year, when they were giving more generous scholarships to all of the students, and they were more generous in general because it was their first year and everything, I still needed to apply for external funding or search for people to support me financially, mm, with the visa, with mm, planes, with different stuff. So I had the support of all of my community. It was everything I've built in the past 5 years.
For
And
those
also,
students who doesn't have these, what could they do? Their family is not capable enough. They should leave this dream to be on Baret Scholars. What could be the best advice for them?
so um in my case, also my family, let's say, it was not capable enough. Like I almost got no money from my family. However, I got to work during the summer. I got to create my own science course. I got a lot of support from an NGO. I got a lot of support from a sponsor. I got a lot of support even from some governmental institutions like the Cultural Institute in our country helped me also. However, um, not everyone has the same opportunity, and I'm very aware of that. So it would it might sound weird, but if beret means mm, putting yourself in even more poverty that you are already in, I think the experience might not be worth it. So it's worth it if you have the means to make it happen. It's worth it if you get financially good enough to. And what does it mean to make, to have the means to make it happen? Like, if you can ask for your parents for the amount of money after your financial aid offer and everything, uh, it's worth it. If you cannot ask for your parents and you need to make a bank loan and you don't have any way, any idea on how are you going to pay that bank loan, it's not worth it. So there are multiple ways that you can make it happen. You can make a bank loan. You can ask for sponsorships from different organizations. You can write emails like a crazy to all of the organizations and companies and everything to get more funding for strictly for external funding. And in order to maximize your chances for a for a good financial aid from Baret, you need to make very clear that, hey, I need this aid, and this is how I'm going to improve the year. This is how I'm going to help with the gap year experience of all of the other students just by being present, just by being there and sharing my experience.
So basically, you have to find a way how you can stand out. And again, it's one thing I
Yeah.
say, it's also about the luck. If you're lucky enough to get this scholarship, then you're good enough to go. If you
Yeah,
don't have,
it's
yeah,
definitely about the luck. Like I would
uh,
I would say it's
you know about
I
me,
don't
my situation as well. I told you.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. It's very hard actually. Sometimes people work so much to get into, and one last thing that makes them feel cry without financial support. Because I feel like that there are people who are in Europe, there are people who in Canada or near to America region. For them, the dollar could be easy to pay. But people from India, the value of, I don't know if you come to India, the value of
Yeah.
dollar Indian is so high, you can't even imagine how people could even afford to pay $10 ticket to one also. They cannot say beyond of that. And if they are asking to pay $50,000, people have to work 20 years. They can't even get 20 $50,000 even they work for 20 years in India. That's the problem here. So
Yeah.
yeah. So now coming to the most important part of the program. So you decide to choose your fellowship based on your interest, based on the goals that you have aligned for your future life. So can you tell me more about what are the other activities have been planned by Baret Scholars related to sports or other things that has not been mentioned in the website, or how does that manifest the students to apply for the program?
Um so we didn't really do activities related to sports or not ones organized by Beret. However, we had more activities organized by students. Like because I was, let's say, the STEM representative at that time, I got to organize a little STEM meeting or STEM gathering, like a little STEM club in some of the regions, at least in the second semester. Because in the first semester, I didn't feel that confident to just, reach out to other people. I didn't know who was interested in STEM, who was not. So in the second semester, I got to create my group, I got to create my little community. So in Nairobi, for example, we got to visit an IT lab and also talk with someone that works in quantum computing, and people got to know more about quantum computing from my experience. So yeah, that was one of the activities. Then in India, one of our friends organized the Holi party because we arrived right when Holi happened, and we got to know more about Holi and what it means for Indians and the cultural significance for it. And it was very nice. It was, I think, the nicest party I've ever been to.
Yeah, if you are a lover of holidays, India is the best. We have 1,000 plus holidays. We are the only country in the world we have an off from school, college, workplace for just for an holiday, especially because of our
Yeah.
religion that we follow. So even one of the most famous holidays also coming in next few months. It's called Diwali, Holiday of Lights. And I think this is also the most ideal time for people who wanted to think about to coming to India, or they wanted to experience something new about India. October and November is the best time to visit in India, especially for foreigners who cannot tolerate the heat waves of India. The 40 degrees, 39 degrees, so the temperature will be cool. The place is nice to go. And so, yeah, I would definitely encourage if you have a chance to come to India, this is the 2 months you definitely don't miss out. And you will learn so
Mm.
much from us. So now tell me more about the countries that people represented, or how do you feel the diversity? Did you not feel homesick like you don't have someone from Romania and why you are just the only person? So don't you feel like there should be some more people from Romania, or how did you adjust it with the culture of other nationalities people? Maybe any idea or any suggestion for the students?
I really missed talking in Romanian for a very long time. Like I was the
Yeah, I
only
can see.
person from Romania, and when I was talking with, I don't know, my parents or my friends, I could even feel the way I was talking Romanian changing. Like it felt like I was translating English into Romanian at some point. So yeah, I definitely felt homesick. I was also sustaining a long distance relationship, so that was also a tough thing to to consider. And I feel like there should be a better support system, or people should better support each other, especially when it comes to like homesickness. Like people should accommodate others. um, I had some friends that helped me a lot while traveling. So I had a friend from South Korea and America. We were very close, and I would get to talk with her a lot about Romania and what it means to be Romanian, and how I lived and how I grew and everything. I got a friend from Morocco who shared Moroccan culture with me, who shared Moroccan sweets, like homemade sweets from his family with me, and I also got to share Romanian sweets with him, and the experience was very nice. So I feel like the most important thing, you're going to feel homesick anyway. Like it's going to happen. You're away from home for 1 year. But the best experience is to try to get your home with you and to realize that you represent your home. Like you are traveling with your own heritage and all of your families and ancestors' memories with you. Let's call it like that. And you can present all of this to other people, and other people can present them as well. And that's the most important thing while doing this experience.
Yeah, actually, we are running some out of time. We have just last one or two questions. So now, since you have met so many people from different parts of the world, so how do you see the applications, or how did the Barrett team select the student? Maybe you talk to some students, how did they get accepted? What is the common thing or similarity that you come across with the people? Why did they got selected over other students? Or do you have any estimation how many people were applied during your time? And only 107 or 108 people got selected. So what is something that you have learned from the selection process? Or maybe let's suppose you are a Baret Scholar team, how you are going to select the student? Just assume maybe.
I would say one of the common things is that the students are very open-minded to begin with. Like they want to join the experience, and they don't want to join the experience just for traveling. They want to join the experience for getting to know more, for getting to improve their knowledge on the world, for getting to improve the world and also themselves. I think that would be one of the key things between all of the students.
Yeah.
And another thing, but it happens in different way. Everyone has what like college admission teams call a spike. Like at the end of like graduation and everything, there was someone who learned 400 digits of pi in like a week. So that's
400?
insane. Sorry?
What did you said? 400?
400 digits of pi. Do you know the number pi?
Oh,
Like
okay, okay.
3.141.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
that was
interesting.
insane. Then we had someone for their capstone project to create a whole website with different interviews around the world about death and how people bury their dead and everything, like all of the traditions regarding death, which was very interesting. Like who thought of that, you know? So you need to make an admission officer ask, who would thought of that? I feel like in my case, because I published a book when I was very young, and uh, I also did some quantum computing research, and I was also like a voice in my community for quantum computing. The admission team thought, who would think of that? Like, who would publish a literature book and then would do some quantum computing research?
Yeah, that's amazing. So thank you so much, Iris, for these conversations. I really enjoyed the experience and conversations with you. It's amazing to hear about your story. Thank you so much, everyone, to listening us. Do not forget to encourage leaving a like, comment, and share, and subscribe our channel. We will be bringing more such meaningful, amazing speakers in the future, and we will sharing all the details about the